وَالْعَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا, or the people that work in ZAKAT foundation, you have to pay to them. Okay, that's the third person. The fourth person, وَالْمُخَلَّفَةُ الْقُلُوبِ, people that you want to gain their heart towards Islam. A new convert now, you can give zakat to him, or you can give zakat to her. The fifth person, wafi riqab, when you want to a slave, when you want to change a slave, understand, to a what? To a free person. Okay? Well, mean he has a lot of debts. You can assist him with what? With zakat. Well, mean what in a sabil, or a traveler that needs money, wafi sabilillah, or on the cause of Allah, like this propagation of Islam, like giving food, and so on and so forth. Allah says these are the 8 people that you should give your zakat to. Now, who are the people that should not collect your zakat? There are 5 people. Number 1, you cannot give your zakat to your father, or to your mother, or to your grandfather or your grandmother. They cannot collect zakat. That is 1. Number 2, your child, your grandchildren, you cannot give them zakat. They cannot collect zakat from you. Number 3, spouses. The husband cannot give the wife zakat, while the wife too cannot give the husband zakat. You understand? Number 4, a wealthy individual. Somebody that has money, why would you give him zakat? You can't. So all these 4 people, and by no Hashim, that's the 5. The family of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they don't collect zakat. So you are not going to give them zakat. So all these 5 people, you cannot give them zakat. I'm saying it again. Your dad, your mom, your child, your grandchildren, wealthy people. Okay? Your sister, you can give her zakat. Your brother, you can give him zakat. Your auntie, your uncles, you can give them zakat. So all these people are the people that can accept, provided they meet all those 8 conditions I've earlier mentions. So that is about what? About that. Who are to give zakat? Who are the people that will collect zakat? And who are the people that we should not give zakat to? Now, how do we determine? Okay, there is another thing I will discuss before I will now tell you how to remove zakat. What is that? They used to say that zakat, 1 year possession. Please, let us understand this very well. 1 year possession. They will say the money is supposed to be 1 year in your possession before you will tax, or before you pay zakat on it. Please, let us understand it. Take for example, you will look at yourself. Let us assume I have not been paying zakat, and I want to start paying zakat this year. Maybe precisely I want to start paying zakat on 25th of Ramadan. You know that one is constant. So I will now look at last year, 25th of Ramadan last year. Do I have a money that worth? If it's gold, that worth is up. Let me put it that way. If I now know that I have money that worth is up that year, okay, I will now check the amount of money I'm having now. If the money I have now is more than nisab, it means that I am going to pay my zakat. But let us assume that I have maybe 30 million last year. The same this year now, I now have 11 million. For example, 11 million, if I'm using gold, it means that 11 million is not up to what? It's not up to nisab. So I'm not going to pay zakat. So when we say 1 year in your possession, You should choose a single day. If, for example, you choose 25, you can't pay your zakat on 24th of Ramadan, and you cannot pay on what? On 26. It must just have to be that 25. We don't say we don't choose week, we don't choose month. We don't say, hey, I'm going to be paying my zakat every first week of Ramadan. No. We should choose a year. When you choose a year, if the money within you, after you have removed all your spendings and everything, and you still have a money that is more than the nisab, you are going to pay zakat. Now, how do we calculate nisab? This is an area that I want each and every one of us to understand. Yeah. All the four of them, initially all of them agreed that during the lifetime of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they used to use either gold or silver. 85 grams of gold or 612 grams of what? Of silver. So all of them agree that people should use any one they like. But Imam Maliki and I think Imam Safi, they said we should use gold. Now, if you are going to use gold, 85 grams of gold in present day naira, one gold is around 143,917. If you multiply it by 85 grams, you are going to get 12,222,078 kobo. That is going to be the amount of nisab of what? Of gold. Now, when you have such gold last year, and this year too, you have a gold more than that, or exact amounts, you are going to pay zakat on gold. And what is the amount you are going to pay? You convert this gold to monetary value, which is 12,222,076 kobo. You will now divide it by 40. When you divide it by 40, you will now take 1. The answer you get, okay, that is what's going to be your zakat. If you don't understand what I'm saying, the total amount of money, just find 2.5% of that very money. That is going to be your zakat. So if you have only gold, let us now assume that you have a gold, and you have silver. What will you do? You will listen carefully. Masai Mufikiya, they said it's gold that you should use. But two of them, Abu Hanifa and Ahmad bin Ambali, they said when you have both gold and silver, don't use the threshold of gold. Use the threshold of silver. So you will convert both the gold and silver into monetary value. Divide by 40. The answer you get will be your what? Will be your zakat. Now, let us assume you have gold, you have silver, you have money, you have raw material. They said you will convert all of them too into monetary value. When you convert it, divide them by what? By 40. The answer you get will be your what? Will be your zakat. Okay? So, that is another thing. I hope you get what I'm saying. So, or you just find 2.5% of the what? Of the total amount of money you get, that is going to be your what? Your zakat. Okay? Now, let us assume you have shares. You have investments. You build house. I don't need it. You build house. You give this house for rentage. How do you determine the zakat? So what is there is this. The house you put for rentage, you will collect all the money. Please listen carefully. You understand? I'll be giving examples till I finish. You have house. It's not the value of the house you are going to calculate. No. You've given the house as what? As rentage. The amount of rentage they give. If you finish it before the time you are going to pay your zakat, you will not pay anything on it. But if you don't finish it, you still have that very money. Within the time you are going to pay zakat, you add it with all other material that you have. You divide it by 40. The answer that you get will be the amount of zakat you are going to pay. Shares. You buy shares in a company, you understand. That shares, you don't have the money, but it's your own. So what you are going to do is that you will follow the shares. Look at what you have at the end of the year. You understand? How much is it? You add it to all other wealth that you have. Divide by 40 and you pay. Now, there is something I now want to bring out of this. If you have a house that you are living in, you are not going to pay zakat on that house. Even if it's 10 houses, it is yours. Okay? You leave it for what? For your own purpose. You are not going to pay zakat. If you have 5 cars, in as much as you are using those cars, okay, you are not using it for business, you understand. Or you have a landed properties. And these landed properties, you are not having it at the back of your mind that you want to sell it. They are not zakatable. You are not going to level them with what? With zakat. Another thing I want to say is this. Let us assume that you get a loan. You get a loan. And you have money. This loan that you now get, okay, when you want to pay zakat, how will you do? Remove, if the loan is for 3 years, you want to pay zakat the first year, divide it into 3. Remove the loan from the wealth you have. The final answer you get, if it's up to what? Up to threshold. If it's up to nizab, you divide it by 40. If it's not up to nizab, you are not going to pay anything. Okay? You give loan out, you borrow somebody money. That is another thing I want you to understand. You borrow somebody money. Now, are you going to pay? Yes, you are going to pay. The only thing that will make you not to pay is that if you know that that very person will not pay your what? Will not pay the money. But if you know that the person is going to pay you, you have to pay every year until that very person pay you. So all these are the issues that surround zakah. If we pay zakah, an individual that doesn't have money before, what will happen? It will have. All this issue of economic problem that we have, all this insecurity that we have, honestly, most of them, they are going to what? They are going to reduce. Because most of them that engage in all these things is as a result of the fact that they don't have something to what? To eat. They don't have something that they can call themselves. So that is why they engage in activities they do. So if we address this, I want to believe better things are with us. As I've told you, the issue of zakah, we've not discussed a lot of things. We've not discussed zakah on what? On livestock. We've not discussed zakah on farm produce. We've not discussed zakah on a lot of things. So the idea of zakah is a broad term, one way or the other. If the time permits, some other time, you can ask all my assatis that are sitting down, they'll be able to answer you. And if you have questions for me too, inshallah, I'm ready to what? To take it. Wastaghfirullah li wa lakum amin. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm highly impressed with what I've seen. It means that people were following the lecture. That is why questions are like this. But what surprised me most is that maybe from the sister side, I don't think maybe we got any question from them. Does it mean that they were not part of us, or they understood everything we discussed? So, now, to start with, salary earners, I think I'm going to just say one or two things on that. As a salary earner, it depends on what the amount of money you are collecting. So, salary earners, it depends on the amount of money you are collecting. But I want you to understand something. No matter the amount of salary you are collecting, even if you are collecting 1 billion, if after 1 year, the amount of money you are having is not up to the nisab, you are not going to pay anything. But if it is, even if you are collecting small amount of money as a salary, maybe you are collecting 2,000, but you are having some other external wrongs, and at the end of the year, okay, the money is up to what? It's up to nisab. You are going to pay. So the condition is not whether you are a salary earner or not. It has to do with the amount of money you are having at the period you are going to pay your zakat. If the amount of money is up to nisab, you are going to pay. If it's not up to nisab, you forget about it. So that is about that. Now, savings. I like this question. Saving for children. There are things we don't understand about life. When you are saving for children, in the account you are saving for children, is it what they are going to use this year? If it's what they are going to use before the time you are going to pay zakat, there is no problem. You are not going to pay zakat for that. But you are saving for their university education, which may be in 15 years, in 20 years. If that money is up to nisab, you are going to pay zakat from it. But if it's not up to nisab, you are not going to pay zakat for it. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Now, somebody that collected loan of maybe up to 30 years, loan of up to 40 years, 50 years, how will you do? I have told you, you are not expected to collect loan from commercial banks. If you are going to collect loan, collect it from Islamic organization. If NASFAT has a bank, inshallah, Allah will make it come to fruition. If you have bank, you understand, they are not going to charge you any amount of money. They may use your money for business, and whatever they get, you understand, you are going to share it. Now, if it's 20 years that you are going to take, that loan will last, what you are going to do is that divide by 20. So that you be on safer side. You are now going to pay. If you divide it by 20, you understand, you add it. If it's 20 years, you divide by 20 years, it means that you are owing somebody that amount of money. So what will you do? You remove it from the amount of your money. You understand? And if it's now up to nisab, what are you going to do? You are going to what? You are going to pay. But if it's not up to nisab, you are not going to pay anything. Okay? Investment from loan. When you invest money from a money somebody give to you, this area we assume that they gave you that money as a form of what? As a form of maybe loan to do business. If you are doing business with that very money, or you reinvest that very money, and you reinvest that very money, you understand? You reinvest that very money into what? Into business. Remove the amount of money somebody gave you out of it. The gain you have, you add it with the amount of money you are having. If the money is up to nisab, divide by 40, give one what? One out of what? Out of 40. So those are the things. And somebody asked, when you give a loan, when you give somebody money, why will you still add that very money to your own money? It's your money now. Won't that very person give you back the money? He's going to give you. The only problem you will have is that if you know that that very person is not going to give you, that's when you will say you are not going to pay. But when you know that it's going to give you, you have to what? You have to pay. But there is one problem there. It's every year you will be paying that very money. You will be adding it to your money until the person what give you, because the Sharia will still assume that that very money is your what? Is your money. So that is that. You have money that is zakatable last year, but the money
has been reinvested in the business, but the profit hasn't come. So at that time to pay the zakat. In this case, what do I do? Maybe the person wanted to pay zakat.
Thank you. If you have money last year and you reinvest it, okay, and the interest has not started coming, the same amount of money last year, you understand? This year, if it's not up to NISAB this year, because last year the NISAB was around 8 million, but this year now the NISAB is around what, 12 million plus. So if the money is up to NISAB, you are going to pay. The only reservation you will have is that if the money is not up to what, is not up to NISAB.
The money is up to, you now reinvested the money.
Yes, now if you reinvested the money, it means that it's still part of your money now. So if it's part of your money, you add it together with everything you have. If it's up to NISAB, what will happen? You are going to pay. It's zakatable.
Not only for Muslim. What about Christian that pay tithes? Tithes not zakat in Arabic language.
So as a Christian, we've said it, that Christians are not going to pay zakat. If they are paying tithes, they are doing it based on their own religion. But our own religion, we don't pay tithes, we pay zakat. And it is expected that it's zakat that we are going to pay. It's not 10% of your salary. No. In that of zakat, you are going to what? Be paying it once in every what? Every year. And you are going to pay when it has reached the nisab. If it doesn't reach nisab, you are not going to what? You are not going to pay.
If someone has been saving towards that and the money accumulated over zakat nisab, so which one should one do?
This is a very good question. Though. If an individual is saving for Hajj, and that money is now up to threshold, is now up to nisab, what are you going to do? You are going to pay zakat for meat first. Yes. Hajj has not, you understand, you have to pay zakat first. And there is one mistake that we used to make. You may want to pay zakat now. You will now say you want to use that very money to send somebody Hajj. That is not right. Zakat is different. Hajj is what? Is different.
This one is just liking it to zakat al-fitr.
Someone brought an idea concerning zakat al-fitr. Zakat al-fitr is compulsory zakat that you are going to pay for you and for all your households. You pay for yourself, for your wife, for your children. If you born a child today, you are going to pay zakat al-fitr for him. So what you are going to do is that you take the mudu of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you measure 4, you understand, and you give it what? You give it out. You have to pay this zakat al-fitr a day or as early as possible before people go to what? Before people go for Hajj. I know NASFAT, they have a program for that. If there is any issue, you can contact our madam. Any other thing?
Okay, that is a very as a big person, suppose I can't keep the money for a whole year because sometimes I do contract. Then the contract doesn't come all the way. Can one pay at the end? Number 2, if I also don't own up to the amount that is accountable, can that be according to what I have because I feel obligated to pay
Zakat.
as I earn?
So, pay as earn, pay ye is not Islam. Islam is you have to have time that you are going to pay. If you are a contract officer, that one there is no problem. Just fix a period. Maybe Muharram 1st. That is the date I'm going to be paying my zakat. So when Muharram 1st comes, all the amount of money, all the amount of wealth that you have, that you are having at present, with your investment, with everything, is it up to nisab? If it's up to nisab, you divide by 40, you give it out. If it's not up to nisab at that very particular period, you are not going to pay zakat.
why can't we give our parents zakat if it can be given to brothers and sisters?
Thank you. Parents is dole. You must have to take care of them. Your parents, your grandparents, you are going to take care of them. They are compulsory for you to take care of them. Your children, they are compulsory for you to what? To take care of them. So that is your wife is compulsory, you understand, for you to take care of him. You understand? Thank you, ma. So
this is a very important question from our mother. Please, we give her the point to ask directly.
Wa alaikum salam, ma.
My question is with respect to the gold that we use regularly.
Yes.
We want to know whether it is accountable and what about the ones that we pay for business?
Thank you, ma.
There are so many questions regarding the gold. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum
In
salam.
line with gold, what if I have my gold and I didn't intend buying it to do business? It's for me, my personal use. So I don't need to every day and I didn't have flow of cash from time to time. How do I do? Am I entitled to pay?
Thank you, ma. Mommy Edro. You see, I have told you. I want to say something today. Please, and let us go home with it. The belief is that if you have a gold and you have silver and you are using it, you are not going to pay zakat. That has been the belief. But Abu Hanifa, Imam Abu Hanifa, okay, said this, and I want to quote him. He said, any item you are using at home, you are not going to pay zakat on them, except gold and silver. When you have gold and silver, and it's up to 85 grams, wallahi, you will pay zakat on it. Now, hello, 85 grams, which is going to be around 12 million plus. So that is about that. If it's silver, silver is around 1 million, maybe around 980,000. If you have a silver that worth that, you are going to pay zakat on it too. And how do you do it? Just divide by 40. The answer you get, you give it out. That is that. I ask one very vital question again. She said, if you have gold and you don't have cash, you don't have cash, how will you do? So there are two things. You can speak with your husband. Alaji, borrow me this money. Okay? Okay? Or Alaji, help me pay my zakat. I don't have monetary value that I'm going to do. If Alaji does not have that, your gold, you should sell one of it. Maybe 1 gram. You understand? So that you use it to pay your what? Zakat. Wallahu ta'ala Adam.
Are we to pay zakat on unsold stock, even though it has appreciated over 1 year but not sold yet?
That is another very vital question. Unsold products, things I call raw materials. Unsold products, you add them together. You add them together. But the issue is that the price you are going to sell them is not going to, the price you are going to cost them is not going to be the selling price. You will add them together. How much is it? Add it to all other weights you have. If it's up to the nisab, you are going to what to pay. But if it's less than nisab, you are not going to pay. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
If you invest in government sukuk and you are paid proceeds of investment quarterly or biannual, what is the zakat?
So, I think I've answered this. The interest.
Is it on all investments with proceeds to be paid on?
Thank you. Once you collect, maybe what do they call it now? Indemnity, Abi? I'm sorry. So, if you collect a proceed from your investments at that very particular period that you collected it, if you add it to the money you are having, and it's a period for you to pay zakat, and is up to the threshold, the nisab, you are going to pay. But let us say you collect that proceed, you use it to buy clothes for your children, use it to buy car that you are going to use and things like that. And the period that you are going to pay zakat comes, that money is not in your hand, you've spent it. You are not going to pay zakat with it now. Let us assume I have money now. Maybe I want to use gold to pay. Let's say I have 10 million now. Now, I now do business. It's next tomorrow that I'm supposed to pay, maybe on 25. That's the period I'm supposed to pay my zakat. And I did business. That business, I now get 10 billion, for example. By tomorrow, I spend the whole 10 billion for something that is vital. On my children, I bought house with it, I do all these things to it. And I don't have, in a lockdown on 25th of Ramadan, the money I now have is not up to 12 million. It means that I don't have the threshold, I don't have the nizab. So why will I pay? But let us assume that that money reach on 25th in my hand, or that very 25th that I got that very money. It means that I have nizab. You can see, it may even not more than maybe 2 hours or 3 hours I got that very money. But since the day I'm supposed to pay, and it's my money, wallahi, I need to what? I need to pay. So those are the things. The proceeds you get, the interest you get, when you add it to all your money, if it's up to the nizab of zakat, what are you going to do? You divide by 40. If it's not up to it, you leave it. You live your normal life. Wallahu alam.
The chairman of that committee and his entourage coming to please come appreciate our guest lecturer and give vote of thanks.
I think we should thank our guest lecturer, Dr. SULEIMAN, the lecture went delivered. I think the lecture was more than just lecture, it has become, it became a kind of interactive lecture. Meaning that